Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about 8 reasons that increasing the minimum wage is a really, really bad idea. Now, this is not just for people who are on the minimum wage, low wages, it's also bad for people who are on benefits, people who've got savings in accounts because the value of money is going to be deteriorating with it. It's also bad for people who are pensioners, for example, who aren't necessarily getting their pension increased with that as well. So it's basically really, really bad, and here are 8 reasons why. First of all, you've got increased staff costs. So when you're looking at a business employing a large number of staff, they're going to then have to increase what the costs of just about everything within their lineup in order to pay for those staff costs, because the money just doesn't appear out of nowhere. So this is actually a tax on businesses, and it's really, really detrimental. This takes us on to the second problem, which is the increase of product costs. Now, product costs, for example, perishable goods. A lot of the time stores buy more than they need in terms of perishable goods, which means that they need to increase the prices of perishable goods by a much higher amount than they are actually spending on them. So basically, when the cost of everything actually goes up, the cost of their suppliers goes up as well, which is really, really problematic. So, for example, what they would be buying before has then gone up in price, so they'd be paying more for it in order to do that. And there's a sort of trickle-down effect of misery which comes with this. So the prices not only have to go up because the staff costs are going up, they're also going up because the product costs are going up as well. So this is actually going to trickle down several times before it actually gets to people, which means that businesses in general are having to pay a huge amount more for the products which they are selling. So also, when it comes down to it, point number 3, you've got a higher percentage of your total income taxed. Your total income is taxed. Now, in the United Kingdom, for example, we get a certain amount of money before tax. So say we get, believe it's 12,500 at the moment, something like that. So when our minimum wage increases, let's say our hours don't increase, for example, we're then having to pay a higher percentage of what we actually have earned at the end of the year in tax. So we're not actually making as much money as we think from the minimum wage actually increasing. So whilst it sounds good, a couple of pennies that we get and pounds here and there that we're getting a nice little chunk of those taken off as well. And it's a higher percentage of the total income which we actually earn taken away. So I think we're on number 4 now. So we have an increased workload for people. Now this is this comes from, for example, people being replaced by machines at your local store. So in our local co-op, for example, they've got some do-it-yourself checkouts, which they sound like a really, really good idea, but it's technically just giving you a job at the end of the day. Basically, people are trimming down the jobs which they've got, which means that you've got let's put that on to point 5. We've got staff redundancies which are coming, which is really, really bad, because the businesses are not able to often sustain the number of staff which they've got, which also means there's an increase in responsibility for the staff, which is really, really bad. That takes us on to point 6, I believe we're on now. So that is the loss of employee benefits. So for example, let's say when you worked with a company before, you get health benefits, health plans, XYZ. All of these are good reasons to work with a company, and they're just getting deteriorated and deteriorated every time the minimum wage increases. So when you re-sign the little thing at the bottom of your contract, or your boss makes you sign a new contract, you're probably losing employee benefits somewhere or other. For example, in my job as a carer, we used to get paid breaks. That is no longer a thing. In many jobs, for example, especially in the medical industry, like for example nursing, that sort of thing, you're having break times which are being reduced. You're having all sorts of things like health benefits reduced, things like that. Dental plans completely revoked. So basically the businesses are having to make cost cutting everywhere, and that's going to come back and bite the employees, because you're no longer getting the sort of benefits that you get from working with a business back in the past. So then we got point number 7. It's harder to get jobs for people who may not have a high level of experience within jobs, who may not be able to get a job normally, because an employer is going to want a higher grade of staff member to perform the more tasks which are going to be given to them. They're going to want people who've got a larger level of experience, because they basically want to ensure that they're getting their money's worth, because now they're going to have to pay through the nose really, really hard to ensure that their employees are a better grade of employee. So basically it's going to make things like a job harder to get through interview process, that sort of thing. So they're going to be looking for people who will perform a higher grade of work for the money which they're actually having to pay out, which means that a lot of the time lower skilled employees will be the ones who are being made redundant, and it will be hard for them to get employed elsewhere, which is not a good thing. So then we go on to number 8. This is the stealth taxes. Now stealth taxes are wonderful. You've got things like sugar tax on products like this Monster, for example. You've got for example, you've got your VAT, which as the cost of items is going to be increasing, this is going to affect sugar tax, VAT. You've got your alcohol and tobacco duties as well. So basically, you're basically going to have to pay a higher amount for luxury goods as well. So anyone who actually likes their luxury goods, anything that's sugary or overly, or alcoholic, for example, they're going to have to pay more money out of their pocket for that. So overall, we have a situation where people are completely and totally screwed over by the minimum wage increasing. Anyway, I've rambled for far too long, so have a fantastic day, and thank you so much for joining me today. Take care and have a lovely day, regardless of whether or not you believe in anything that I've said. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.